Hey, Julie, welcome to Body Kindness.
Hi, Rebecca. I'm so glad to be here.
I have to give you a special reward, and all I have is a pen. So,
You know,
but
mail that to Canada?
maybe it's a virtual gift.
All right.
But no, you are my first guest that is part of my new sort of plan for the Body Kindness podcast to also have a YouTube presence that is actually real video. And I so appreciate the flexibility when I know about an hour ago, I said, so can we do this thing on video? And you're like, sure.
And that's a big part of what we do on the body shame conference videos too, is just go for it.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
it. Well,
So,
thank you. Thank you for going for it with me. And there's
for
there's
sure.
so many fun rewards of getting to do that, which is yes, talking about this theme, which is why we need to brave body shame now in 2021, and all that good stuff. So just for any listeners who are first or viewers, I'm getting used to that.
Love it.
I've always recorded on video with guests because I love the eye contact. It was just I was not recording with plans to put on YouTube. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So new folks, welcome to Body Kindness. Briefly, Body Kindness is a philosophy that I created when I hit my own rock bottom with dieting and diet culture. After years and years of thinking the healthy thing to do, if I cared about health and well-being, was just follow the latest diet plan. And oh, it's such a long story. So I won't get into it now, but just know that, it really, to me, a body kindness philosophy and practice is all about that feeling that you have when you know that life can be better and you want to create a better life. And the really hard part for some folks is there's a part that's like, but I still care about my health. So what do I do if I don't ever want to diet again? And there's always, not always, but usually a part that's like, but is it okay to let go of weight concerns? And I sincerely hope we can get into that in our chat today. But I always say no one can tell you what body kindness is or isn't. But in the philosophy of body kindness, it's about three core principles: love, connect, and care for yourself and others, and fully commit to a healthy well-being, which is mental health and physical health. And how you create that is really up to you, because it's going to depend on your interests, values, and goals. And the podcast has over 160 episodes, so feel free to listen to your heart's content, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. And if you want a guide and breaking down from diet culture, I would highly recommend my book or audiobook, Body Kindness, which you could get anywhere. And oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Is that what is do you have? Is that beautiful you? I recognize the book on oh, Rosie Molinary. I love Rosie.
Yeah, I've got a few
Oh,
good books here.
we found each other like years ago when Twitter was new, like that many years ago.
Okay.
And Rosie is a wonderful human being. I love talk about a great book even for kicking off the new year, and that those daily prompts. So, oh, this is going to be so fun. Enough about me. I can't wait to hear more about who you are, what you do, and discuss why do we need to brave body shame now and in 2021 and beyond.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So, I do a lot of things. That is one thing that people might say about me. I, first and foremost, am a counselor. So, for me, when I work with clients, from the start, I've worked with body image and self-esteem, and through the years have morphed into being more specific about fat liberation and all of that type of context, and
Mhm.
really opening up what body image looks like. So,
Mhm.
private practice, I do counseling. I also teach at the local college here where I am, which is an amazing experience for me because I get to bring in sizeism to
Mm.
to a few of the classes that I teach, and it's never been done before. So that was really exciting that I get some autonomy to create that part and see younger minds, they're college level, but younger minds sort of get really excited about a concept they've never heard before.
Yeah.
I
That's so
also,
powerful because
yeah,
it's like a structural change. It's like a change within the system. That's
yes.
so important.
Yes, I was very excited to be handed a couple of classes that I could do that with.
Mm-hmm.
I also teach yoga, and I
Mm.
took the yoga for round bodies training because what I found was I was so in my head when I attended yoga classes that I couldn't get any zen out of it
You
because
were
I was,
constantly in warrior pose.
yeah. And I was wondering, how do I do that with my body?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh,
So I started to adapt myself, but I'm like, I need more training on this. So I did my regular yoga teacher training, and then I did the yoga for round bodies. And now people know that my classes come with some laughter and telling you that you can shift your belly and just move it out of the way. And that's
mm-hmm.
okay. And if your thighs don't do this, that's okay. And if your arms are short like mine, that's okay. Because a lot of times we don't connect to our body when we're experiencing body shame either, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
blame our body, which
Mm-hmm.
is a big part of actually why we need this kind of conference, because we're walking around blaming our bodies for having short arms and we can't do a
Mm-hmm.
headstand, but it's because our arms are short. Like, it's not because we're incapable, but like if my head is,
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that without compacting my neck, which is actually really unhealthy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, and even the idea of, and I love yoga. I talked about how I feel like yoga saved me twice.
Mm,
First, with body concerns, and that shows up in the book. But secondly, with a surprise diagnosis of anxiety,
mm,
pre-COVID, actually.
yeah.
So thankfully, I had that wave and got the help and support. And, I'm still human, so working with it. But I feel like I came to yoga through asana, and I had the body privilege that allowed me to I was still in my head, right, but with the body privilege, not nearly as much as other people who have larger bodies, who didn't have teachers like you, who not even like modifications, but how about the point of let's all be in this community space and be compassionate with ourselves and each other and be where we need to be.
Yeah.
But through the more I evolve with yoga, it's not even about asana anymore. And I think when you're a teacher and you can be the one saying that and bringing that to people, even if that feeling when you're saying it, you're like, is it landing? Is it landing? Trusting that it is landing. And you may never hear
Yeah.
all the feedback of the impact that you made, but trusting that you made that impact.
Definitely. And I think that's a really good definition or a distinction between asana and a yoga practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I always talk about yoga off the mat, right? Because people don't
Mm-hmm.
really necessarily understand that asana is a separate sort of just
Mm-hmm.
physical poses, whereas yoga can be a full philosophy. So I really enjoyed that, bringing people into connection and having people in larger bodies find, because I put plus size yogi, like, this is what you're getting. You're coming to me. This is your teacher. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's so many people who come because they're comfortable, because I'm similarly looking to
Mm-hmm.
them, which is really
Mm-hmm.
cool. I
Yeah.
also live with fibromyalgia, so sometimes the practices are really low and slow, and I realize that other people actually like that regardless of their body concerns.
Right. They
People
might be
like,
coming in like a tornado thinking they need like the fire practice,
yeah,
and the solar, and they really need a lunar.
yes,
And I love that you can show up and hold this space as the teacher, meet your needs with this full permission that self-care is supporting a collective well-being in the room, and it's also teaching them something, because we all have parts that are just like, you really need to give that solar, right, to
yeah,
and so it's good that you can do that and offer that.
yeah.
It
It's
is
really
necessary and
yes,
brave.
yes. Thank you. It's not local where I am, so I'm
Mhm.
gonna teach myself and bring it local. That's
Yeah.
really a lot of what I do. And that's kind of what happened with the conference. Is I wasn't seeing something for my clients,
Mhm.
right? I was going to some amazing conferences. You and I were at the same conference.
Yes, the
Um,
International Weight Stigma Conference, which was
yes,
wonderful.
yes, we
Yeah.
were both speaking there. And
Mm.
after that conference, because I'd done one the previous month as well, for the National Eating Disorder Information Center in Toronto. So
Mm.
I'd done back-to-back conferences, and they were amazing, and they helped me as a practitioner. But what about my clients,
Mhm.
right? And I can bring it back to them, but collectively, they're seeing so much stuff on
Mhm.
social media that is not helping them process positively between my sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Like between our sessions, I want people to be able to find great content, but it
Mm-hmm.
seeps in there, that negative stuff. And you and I are going to talk a little bit more about that, I think, for sure, about the
Yeah.
current content. But I needed this conference to happen so that my clients and clients across the world could understand that they're not alone, because that's the biggest
Mm-hmm.
part about this body shame, is that we get into a silo of, it's just me, I'm the only one who feels this way, or my body is wrong and I don't know how to fix that. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was really about, instead of having something just for practitioners or something that was too academic, to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Love academia
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, but sometimes we just need to have coffee and chat so that everybody can just be on the same field, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost feel like sometimes like the studying of things is the safety net, because then that means you don't have to go in and do the real work, the experiential work.
Yeah.
Because I would argue that, any clinician who is at all on a path of health at every size, intuitive eating, a body
Mhm.
kindness practice, right? Those
Yep.
anti-diet realms. I mean, do your own work. And this conference can be a great way to listen and learn,
Yes.
because it's virtual. You have amazing speakers. It's social justice informed and organized, which I was like, I couldn't hit my sponsor button fast enough. I was like, yes, and especially as somebody who's living with multiple privileges, it's like I I recognize that I don't feel that this is an event that's like, hey, Rebecca Scritchfield at your size, you really personally need this. And this is a way that I can help amplify and support important work,
Mhm.
and also benefit by attending and benefit by helping my clients. And
Mhm.
so I still get that benefit by supporting and inhabiting something that I know is helpful for collective well-being. And so anyone who's listening, or watching, I mean, visit the website.
Yeah.
There's awesome registration options, amazing speakers. What are some of the things that you're really excited about for the conference?
Oh, I just got goosebumps just thinking about it. It's so funny. It's like my second child. I only have one kid, and the
Mm,
conference is my second. Um, I think for me, the most exciting part is when we start getting feedback.
mhm,
So last year we had feedback that people were using it to help with meal support, actually. We
mm,
had one person watching, and she would watch it while she ate so that she felt like she wasn't alone. And I thought, what an amazing way to use the conference. We had other people who were sending us feedback about seeing their own bodies online, which was awesome, in a way that was their story. Because I think what I saw on Instagram was people have stories, which I think is
mm,
amazing, like the actual stories, right? But then they disappear. And so
mm,
this was a way of bringing all of that together in a accessible way.
mhm,
And so we always want the conference to be virtual, because I think that that's important. We always want it to be accessible financially. So our early bird pricing is on, and it's in Canadian. So that
ooh.
helps. I mean, I know, right? Like that's like 4 cents Canadian American. Like great for Americans. And we try and keep those things low, but we also have a free option where people can get about 4 videos, 5 videos a day sent to them, and they can watch what they want that day for 24 hours.
Mhm,
So again, we wanted to have different multiple platforms, but the feedback is what I love. And I think for me, knowing that people use the conference information to better support themselves is amazing.
mhm,
And we actually do a whole workbook, to go with the paid registration, that incorporates the 3 takeaways that each of our participants give us, and journal prompts. So long after the conference is done, you have the takeaways, you have journal prompts, and you can keep doing the work, which I think is
yes.
really exciting.
Oh my gosh, I love journaling prompts. I talked about expressive writing and body kindness. I do
Mhm.
journaling with clients all the
Yeah.
time. And even the resistant ones, they could do like a micro prompt,
Yeah.
or we'll kind of get a sense of like what's coming in the space. I'm like, oh, that's a good thing to let's get some quiet time, some silence, and some journaling introspection. And it almost always helps. I think that's so great. Who are some of the speakers that you have lined up?
Oh, I should have printed the list. We have, what I love about our conference is we don't just have big names
Mm-hmm.
because we think everybody has a story.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, I'm literally opening my thing because I want to
Open
make
it.
sure that
Yeah.
I know. Okay, good.
Let's
So,
give the URL too, actually, so
yes.
people can visit it.
So bravingbodyshame.com.
Sweet.
Nice and simple.
Awesome.
So we have Virgie Tovar, who is speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we have Cherish Styles, who is on Instagram under Styles Counseling and is just
Mm-hmm.
lovely. Jackie
Awesome.
Barbie, who does Sunny Bee Yoga. She is so fun. And Danielle Catton, I'm really hoping I'm saying their last names right. And
Yep.
Danielle is Canadian, kind of just
Mm-hmm.
down the highway from me, and has been doing this really great recreation of thin people's posts of how they like morph their body to look thinner, and then she does it,
Oh.
and it's just been amazing. Like her posts are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We have Pia, who is Mixed Fat Chick on Instagram,
Okay, cool.
and Shira Rose and Anna Sweeney and Gloria from Nalgona Positivity Pride.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like
Oh,
we have so many different stories.
yeah.
Caitlin Anderley and I spoke. She's from Reframe Your Story, and she
Mm.
talks about her weight loss surgery and how that impacted her negatively.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a really, again, a really interesting story that I hadn't heard before. Um, Rachel Milner,
Mm-hmm.
Victoria Wellesby from over in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
Fierce Fatty,
Yeah.
Ruby Smith Diaz. I don't know if you've heard of her. She is a trainer in Vancouver, BC, and she does personal training out there. So one of the other hosts, Alicia, is on the West Coast. So
Mm-hmm.
she knew Ruby, and that's a really great connection there. Reagan Chastain, Ashley Bennett, Meredith Noble, Melissa Toller, Ash
Yeah.
from the Fat Lip podcast.
Yeah.
Like just over and over and over,
Yeah.
over and over.
Yeah.
Amazing people.
Oh, so yeah. At least half of the speakers were on my podcast. And so I'm just like, I was like, "Peek." In my head, I was giving little checks and I was like, ooh, and getting new people to find and follow. So,
Yes.
I mean, that is like, so first step, visit the website, find
Yes.
out who's speaking, follow them. You're
Mhm.
going to get great stuff from that. Check it out. And as soon
Yeah.
as you can, figure out, your finances and like there's flexible options, but like, go ahead and register and sign up and participate. I know that I'm going to have, you do an awesome swag bag because I know I donated some stuff to
Yeah.
it. So there's going to be lots of cool things that,
Yes.
what do you want to say about that? Just that kind of you're getting
Oh,
people to contribute things so that in addition
yeah.
to the education content, there might be other opportunities to help you
Yes.
continue braving.
So we have so we've been doing giveaways. So right now we have a giveaway with the Plus Bus, which is 2 $100 gift cards that we're giving away in December. But in January, when the podcast part of this launches, the audio podcast, we will be doing book giveaways. So we
Cool.
have connected with so many great authors, yourself included, I believe.
I hope so. If not,
Yeah.
I'm taking my books.
I know. I have one here. I have
Okay.
one at my office. I have one out with a client right now. But we have a bunch of great authors who have said, yes, please let me help you with giveaways. So January is kind of the month of book giveaways,
Right.
or a couple of weeks before the conference. And then the swag bag, every participant gets, and it's discount codes for all sorts of different things.
Yep.
So we have the swag bag, and that's just automatically you get that. All the giveaways, on top of the paid registrants who are put into the physical giveaways, we also have a giveaway every month for an upgrade membership, from a free membership to an upgrade. So even if right now you're only able to do the free one, that's okay. Get on the free list so you get all the information.
Right.
And people can upgrade the first couple of days of the conference too, if they find that they're like, oh, I really want to keep this downloadable content for the rest of my life. They can do that for the first couple of days of the conference as well.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, hopefully we can talk more about the podcast but you did bring up, did I just say podcast? See, and this is why I said no edits. Okay. It was so funny because I was like, wait for it. Here comes the brain. Oh yeah, I did say the wrong word. Well, but yeah, this is already going to be up on YouTube so that folks can get some, like I said, early ideas for things to follow. And we're all kind of around this time of year thinking about the next year and
Yeah.
anticipating that wave of diet culture as soon as the ball drops,
Yeah.
and I'm very curious about what's going to happen given COVID and the global pandemic. And it's just like, oh, it's still going to be there, but I'm just curious how it's going to look. But alas, we can brave body shame, and we could start right
Yes.
now by following others on social and
Yes.
getting psyched for the conference. But yes, it's, I wanted to make sure that before I hit record, how you felt about engaging in a little bit of conversation around I would say that the bigger picture idea is like, how do we process our feelings, especially, around the time of year when people are upholding body oppression, basically saying, yeah, we want to take your money because your body isn't good enough.
Yeah.
And the way that you're going to get a happier, healthier, stronger, and better life is through, pursuing weight loss. And then now, oh, this diet in disguise. Oh, it's a lifestyle, all the buzzwords that we'll hear and see.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you do your work and you feel kind of like strong enough, like, okay, I think I can handle this, et cetera. And then something really surprising happens, or could happen at any time. And I really feel that, literally over the last 24 hours since we've recorded this, that's kind of one of those waves. And it has to do with Lizzo, who I think so many people love. I mean, what a talented person, human being, creator, musician, flautist, all the things. There are some people who've been hurt by her Instagram. There was a post and stories that have to do with her doing a detox. And so I guess I'll just sort of put it out there and kind of ask you a little bit more about, what have you heard in the story? Have clients been coming to you? How do we want to, unpack this situation and talk in terms of specifically with Lizzo? And I have a few other ideas that have been coming out culturally as well that we might be able to get to.
Certainly. Yeah. I think the thing is to remember that everybody has body autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
So we are able to do whatever we want with our bodies. The
Mm-hmm.
problem lies in the outcome in the comment section, right? So
Mm.
one of the things that I noticed with the Lizzo thing is that people are then praising her for manipulating her body in
Mhm.
a way she's allowed to do.
Mhm.
But then my concern as the mom of a daughter, and I think you have daughters as
Mhm.
well, and probably a lot of people are thinking is,
Mhm.
now what if I guess I can do that detox cleanse? I guess I
Mhm.
can get those kind of results. And people are falling down in that sort of wave of, okay, Lizzo now says it's okay to manipulate my body, right?
Mhm.
Whereas before she said it was okay to love my body. So there's a
Mhm.
confusion that happens as well. That is really
Mhm.
interesting. And I think that anybody who says that they're body positive and then shifts 180, and we take it that they're not body positive anymore, which is again a very gray, fine line that has a
Mhm.
lot of contention, I think, in the body positive world,
Right.
can be really disheartening and
Yeah.
harmful to people. And it's not Lizzo's fault.
Mhm.
And it's not our fault. It's diet culture that has permeated these kind of stories and doesn't allow us to come away from it unharmed.
Right. And yeah, it's the pieces of the puzzle that I have been putting together, because I got a lot of clients messaging me and sort of like, hey, did you see it? And then sort of like, oh, I think I need you, for a little kind of quick crisis chat. Um, Lizzo has, so this is what I know so far. She actually did recently talk about how she was really feeling harmed by comments. And so one of the things that I would want everybody who's hearing us talk about this, whether it's still very current or sort of like yesterday's, that's last year's news, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but was that we all are human, and that she is existing in this world and is oppressed, no matter her talent and money and ways that she's been able to fight for her own autonomy and liberation. It is difficult to be alive right now in COVID and where we are in our racism reckoning. Um, and, it would make a lot of sense if she had any emotional difficulty, um, and reconciling those thoughts into body shame thoughts, and then have people commenting, oh, I care about your health or whatnot. And so, one thing is, I wish her well and hope she's okay,
Yeah.
because you're right. We do have body autonomy, and it is shocking to see and feel. But Aubrey Gordon, your fat friend who was recently on a podcast, she just said, listen, I would never judge a higher weight person's actions on what they do to survive in a world who doesn't want you to exist. And that really helped in me processing, and it was something I process with clients,
Yeah.
to look at it from that frame. Is we don't know what she's going through. We don't know, what she might be needing. And because it was almost like I saw two parts of her in her stories. I saw this part talking about like glowing skin, right? And trying to make it not be about weight. But then she did these before and afters and side by sides. And when I looked into her face and eyes, I felt a sense of sadness, almost that she herself might have been conflicted about doing that.
Yeah.
And, total speculation because I just didn't properly research before, but being a huge Lizzo fan, I did see in the summer where she was doing some vegan eating and was tagging this um person, and I don't even know yet if it's the same person.
Mm.
And I don't judge people who eat vegetarian or vegan. I fully support that there can be really ethical ways of doing so. And I remember watching that and wondering, and even then I didn't really see anything that was like super diety about what she was trying to put out there. And so, but when I look at the whole picture, it's almost like if I were to say the things that personally have me holding space, I'd hold space for anyone who's feeling harmed by this, because I can imagine how it must hurt. Um, and how has Lizzo been struggling and coping through all these things?
Yeah.
And, when you look at what she linked out to, even if for herself, I felt that one foot in, one foot out, where you're trying to make it about energy and glowing skin. But then with the side by side, or what she linked out to in the program, it being a detox, it being send me your befores and afters, and all of it being about weight loss,
Yeah.
the mere association, use of her power to kind of amplify and validate where she can't control what this other entity is doing. um I don't it sucks to be in such a position of power where every little thing you do could have
Yeah.
this harmful impact. But people are definitely hurt and harmed by seeing that, and who knows what's going to come out of it. Lizzo needs her space to be a human being and do her own healing work. And also, you're right, it's like, to diet culture. Oh, I don't know if that's a bad YouTube thing, but diet culture sucks, right? And turn that fierce energy away from Lizzo, empathy and fierce love to Lizzo,
Yeah.
and fierce,
Dismantling.
you suck, dismantling toward diet culture. Okay, I went
Yeah.
on forever. What else do you want to say about it now that I've said
I think for
my piece?
me, this is why the conference exists, so that there's different air about the world. There's different words out there. This is why your content, my content, the content of all the people we're going to link to throughout last year's conference and this year's conference is so vital to be in the world, because January 18th, the conference launches, and that's just shy of 3 weeks into a new year. And I think
Rock
that's when
bottom.
things are,
Is that strategic? Because that is
yes,
the rock bottom moment of
yes,
you're trying to catch anyone who wanted one last spin on the diet roller
you
coaster.
got it. Yeah, last year it was the end of February. This year we're
Uh,
like, nah, we got to bump that up. We got to bump it up.
oh,
So that was
yeah.
totally strategic. Yeah.
Oh man, it is. It is. And I can't stress enough the power of collective healing and the power of healing from other people's stories. And so that's the beauty of us being able to get this out now. And then we'll have the podcast out, early January, hopefully by January 4th, 5th, right?
Yeah.
And so you can pre-conference find the speakers, follow them, register, at any level you can, and immerse yourself now.
Yeah.
Brave body shame now, learn and grow. Let the healing begin because we do need it now. And we're
Yeah.
going to need it in January and January 18th. And we're going to need it in all of 2021
Yes.
and 2031.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, I would love to lose my anti-diet culture job. Trust me, I
Right?
would love to lose it.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for you and all the conference organizers, all the speakers, all the people who are donating and who care about supporting and amplifying. And, the website once again is bravingbodyshame.com. All the juicy links are going to be in the show notes. And thank you for everything you do and for being and existing in the world. You're so needed.
Thank you for you too.
Goodbye.
Bye.